So, how do you know when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing? I mean, how do you know when your life is fulfilled? How do you know when the mission that you're taking is the best one for you? I'm not here to answer that question by any means. I have no idea. I guess I'm asking because I know I'll get a lot of answers like, well, you'll feel it in your heart, or you'll just know. It's intuition, it's instinct, or perhaps the answer that whatever you're doing, that's what you're supposed to be doing. That our missions in life are based on circumstance, and whatever happens is fate. I mull these ideas over in my head all day long, about like where I am right now. I'm at work. I'm getting ready to go to work. I've got, got up early, got my motivation, getting here, doing my thing so I can make a living. So in a lot of people's eyes, this would be what I'm supposed to be doing. In the sense that I have to feed my family and I have to support my kids, that is obviously priority in my life right now is work. And I'll be honest, I don't like work in the sense that I don't like working just to make a living, but I love working and I love doing things. I love accomplishing things. Construction is not exactly a field that it's one I kind of got stuck in. I started roofing and then I got into, foundations and additions and remodels. I know how a house goes together from the ground up, but I tend to cater towards the finished carpentry side because it's not the prestige or the pay as much as the enjoyment of seeing an accomplished task and fulfilling a completion of something. So in my life, I could say, if I could look at it one way, where I'm completely content with who I am because I'm a carpenter, I'm happy, I'm intelligent, I have a good life, a great family, good friends, everything is good. So perhaps this is where I should be. But there's always something nagging at the back of our minds that says, should I have taken this path or should I be doing this? Now, for my life personally, I love the path I've taken. If I hadn't met my wife, I don't know where I would be. I have so much to give to my family and so much love for them that I don't know really where else I'd be. But, well, when a person gets stuck in a job, they're usually young when they get their career going, and it's hard to break away from that. And I see a lot of folks who associate themselves with their job. One of the funnest questions that you can ask someone is, so what do you do? Or, what do you do, I guess would be the best way to put it. And to see the reaction of people, and some folks will say, oh man, I'm a rock climber, I love to go out hiking. Another person might say, oh, I'm a family man, I hang out with my kids and do stuff. But a majority of people are going to associate themselves with their line of work because they spend a lot of time there. You spend a third of your time in life at work, at least a quarter. And some people a lot more, but what exactly, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you take a job and you associate yourself with that job because you're proud of it, and you're proud of what you do, that's fine. If we associate ourselves with our job in order to try to gain posterity or to gain, credit among others, then that's when we're getting into comparative jobs. And I really dislike that. I think that that's one of the biggest things working against us as a society is comparing ourselves by what we do for a living. I could, for example, a realtor, let's take for example, realtors make pretty good money. they can make pretty good money, and they have in the past. Both of the houses on either side of the one I'm working on are for sale. I'm looking at the sign right now. I saw as I pulled up this morning that the other sign had been replaced because obviously the person who was trying to sell the house couldn't sell it, so they'd gone with a different company. Now this person who had this sign up had complained to us for parking in front of their house. Now this street is really small and there's nowhere to park, and there's only one side of the street you can really park on without blocking traffic. And we have a dumpster here and a bunch of construction stuff, and we're trying to keep it organized, trying to be respectful. But it's easy for the rich folks in the neighborhood to gripe and say, oh, look at them working on that house. Oh, look at their pile of junk out in front. Hey, we're doing what we can, you know, this is our job. We're doing it for you folks, you know, for your neighborhood. But they don't see it that way. So this lady started complaining to us because we parked in front of the house, and she said she couldn't sell the house because there was cars parked in front of it. What it was a frustration of her not being able to sell the house and placing the blame off on someone who she considers to be a lesser career or have a lesser job, like us. And I see it completely differently. I see it as she has the lesser job because anybody can go to real estate school and learn how to sell a house. I mean, that's just silliness. Real estate agents don't even have to know anything about how a house is built. I could go in and sell a house based on the construction of it. Say, oh, well, this is good, and you can see the quality in this foundation, and you know, this. There's a lot more to learn to know how to be a full-scale carpenter than there is a real estate agent. But since they make more money, they consider themselves superior. Not all, but at least in this case. And the same goes with bankers, you know, CEOs. If you think about this, a CEO may think that they have the job, and a person who doesn't have as good of a paying job may think, man, that guy's got it made. Look at him. He's the leader of that company. I want to be that person. They don't realize that that person is completely miserable half the time. He's got to worry about not only himself and his own family, but everyone else on the roster, everyone else that's hired by the company, every issue, everything the company has, and step on people in order to accomplish that. So I don't look up to them. I feel sorry for them, you know, in that sense. I'm very happy for having a job where I can just do my thing and go home. But it does take a certain mentality, though, to be a CEO. I mean, you have to be sociopath. But to find what works for you, I think, is totally up to you. You can't be assuming that everyone else is gonna. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, right? So, I guess, I don't know. I don't really even know what I'm saying, except that, you know, this is an important issue to me, but I can't quite know how to describe it. It's ineffable. You know, that whole feeling that goes with the way we label ourselves with our careers, the way we consider ourselves this or that based on what we have or what we do. And along the CEO thing, I was going to say that you can put a carpenter and a CEO right next to each other. And then when you remove the illusion of society, who's left with something to contribute? And in that sense, I will always be able to take a pile of raw materials and build a good structure out of it to keep people dry. If the company collapses, the CEO has nothing. So everything that CEO has built is based on the functionality of that company and the products or services that they, you know, put forward. I'm not saying that I'm superior. I'm not saying my job is better. I'm saying that I'm happier to work at what I do, even making the small amount of money that I do, because I'm proud of what I do. And I think everybody can be proud of what they do to an extent. And if you don't feel like you're in the right place that you should be in life, then get another job. And that's all there is to it. You're never too late to start over. And I'm ready to move forward in my life and start writing books. And I'm hoping to eventually start my own kind of an online radio program of some sort. And I'm not scared by the fact that a lot of people do this, or a lot of people have experience with that, or I've never done this or that. I see it as I'm completely open to tackle anything. And by doing that, it opens my mind up to new things that I hadn't previously considered. And it's just like taking a job that you see that you know you don't have the experience for, and just writing in the experience box, oh yeah, I've done this before. Then you take that job and think, what did I lie for? I don't know what I'm doing. And then you find your way. You realize that things are not that hard. We can jump right into everything. People want things to seem harder than they are, so you don't take their jobs. I'm sure everybody knows what I mean. Like, oh, my job's so hard, this and this and this and this. Oh, well, you just grab a board, you cut it, you put it up. Carpentry's not that hard. I mean, anybody can build a tape measure, pencil. Of course, building a structure that's sound is a completely different story. But so I would like to finalize, I guess, by saying that I see the light in each one of you when I talk to you, each one of the people of my subs and just random people that I talk to, that come across, and the other folks that I watch your videos and think, wow, this is a great point of view. And I can see the shortcomings and the strengths in everyone, and I embrace them all, because not everyone is meant for every job. Not everyone is meant for every search in life. Not everyone can understand where another person's coming from. But if we all understood exactly the same way, we wouldn't learn from one another. So I'm willing to teach and to learn, and I urge each one of you to do the same and try to help somebody out who maybe doesn't have the same self-esteem that you do. Someone who maybe looks at themselves as not worthy of doing this or doing that or taking this job on, and say, hey, you can do it. You can do it. When we stop dividing ourselves, when we stop seeing ourselves as divided, not being divisionists, but seeing ourselves as separate from one another, then you can drive down the highway, see the person in front of you and the person behind you, and instead of thinking, that asshole's not going to cut me off, think, you're a part of the system. You're a part of the, you are a part of the thorax. You're part of the main body. Every person goes together, and if you piss someone else off or you harsh on someone else for thinking that they're lesser than you, all you're doing is harming yourself. And I think we all know that deep inside. So namaste to everyone, and I'm off to work, and I'm going to do some outdoor carpentry shit. Get some things done. Peace.